All right, welcome everyone. We're diving deep today into ancient African cultures and their possible connections to, well, extraterrestrial
The
beings.
classic.
Yeah, and we've got this History Channel documentary, Ancient African Cultures and Their Alien Connections, as our guide for today.
Oh, nice. They put it up on
Oh,
YouTube, right?
the Ancient Aliens channel, if you want to follow along with us.
Cool. So get ready for zombies.
Oh, yeah. Zombies in the Congo. The Dogon tribe, they've got some crazy astronomical knowledge, apparently.
And churches carved from single blocks of stone. How'd they do that?
Yeah, who knows, right? Big questions. So it's this whole idea that ancient cultures might have, met with beings they saw as gods.
Right.
But were they actually extraterrestrials? That's what we're looking at.
That's the premise. We'll
Yeah.
see what evidence they present.
For sure. Weigh it against other explanations, too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the documentary, it starts with zombies, which always gets my attention.
Can't go wrong with zombies.
Right. So it's the Kingdom of Congo. Back in 1482, this Portuguese explorer, Diogo Cao, he sails up the Congo River.
Okay.
And his stories, they spark all this missionary activity, trying to convert the Congolese people
Sure.
from Vodun to Catholicism.
Ah, interesting. A clash of cultures.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how their beliefs about the soul, they're totally different.
Right. Yeah. Catholicism, one soul. Vodun, not so much. Like the ancient Egyptians, actually.
Multiple souls.
Yeah, it's key to understanding their whole view on zombies.
So the documentary, it talks about this big soul, like your personality,
Right.
and a little soul that animates the body.
It makes sense. So how does that tie into zombies?
Well, there's this anthropologist, TikTok Thompson. He's in the documentary.
Okay.
And he explains it, that a zombie, in Vodun belief, it's a body, reanimated, but only with the little soul.
So it's moving, but it's missing that spark, the personality.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you think about, what makes us human,
Deep stuff.
And then the documentary, it goes on to suggest that this whole practice with the souls, it came from sky gods.
Sky gods,
Yeah, they're called orishas or loas, these divine messengers. They arrive in craft-like objects.
Yes.
And they're shown with, get this, elongated skulls.
Elongated skulls. Now that's an image.
Right. So the documentary is suggesting maybe these sky gods were, extraterrestrials.
Who taught them about the soul and resurrection and all that?
Yeah, that's the idea. But, could those figures be something else?
Representing something else, you mean?
Yeah.
Sure, it's possible. Different culture, maybe. Or just a symbol of power, spiritual power.
Good point. Always got to keep an open mind, right?
Always.
Okay, so let's move on to the Sahara Desert. Big change of scenery.
From jungles to deserts. Okay.
So the documentary uses these cave paintings, Atasli Najer,
Yeah.
to show how much the climate's changed.
It's like night and day, right? Sahara now and what it used to be.
Totally. So you see this lush Sahara in the paintings. Tons of life. But then there's these figures.
Figures. Like people,
Yeah, but they're wearing helmets and suits.
helmets and suits. In the Sahara.
I know, right? Even archaeologists are calling them Martians and spacemen.
Well, that's intriguing. Definitely grabs your attention.
Totally. And this is where they introduce the Dogon tribe from West Africa.
The Dogon. Okay.
They live pretty close to those cave paintings, actually. And they have this really strong connection to this Sirius star system.
Sirius. That's the dog star, right?
Yeah, the brightest star in the sky. So tell me, what's so special about their connection to it?
Well, the Dogon, they're known for their astronomy. It's surprisingly advanced.
Advanced how?
They knew about this white dwarf star, Sirius B, long before, modern science found it.
Wait, seriously, they knew about a star we couldn't even see?
Yeah. It makes you wonder, how did they know that?
Right. And of course, the documentary jumps in and says, well, they learned it from their ancestors, the Namo.
The Nomo.
Yeah, they were these amphibious beings from the Sirius system, arrived in a spinning, noisy craft, the whole 9 yards.
A spinning craft.
That's what they say. And there's even depictions of them, the Nomo, descending to Earth in this spinning disc.
Sounds like a UFO.
Right. So, is it gods? Extraterrestrials? Who knows?
It's fascinating, that's for sure. I mean, their oral history, passed down for generations, could hold clues about beings we don't understand or technology.
Yeah, that's true.
But, cultural transmission of knowledge, it's complicated. Could have come from other civilizations, too. Or even, just observing the sky. for centuries. What do you think?
It's mind-blowing. Either way, to think that knowledge has been around for so long, the power of those oral traditions is amazing. Okay, ready for another crazy location?
Hit me.
Lalibela, Ethiopia.
Lalibela.
Picture this. You're in this like mountainous landscape, super rugged.
Remote.
Yeah. And then bam, these incredible churches carved right into the rock.
Churches in the rock.
Yeah? Monolithic churches, they're called. So each one carved from a single block of stone.
Whoa. That's some serious engineering.
Right? And artistry, too. Like, how do they even do that? The mystery is what makes it so cool.
Yeah, that's the hook.
Yeah.
So what's the mainstream explanation?
Well, they say it was skilled craftspeople back in the 12th century.
Early century.
But the documentary, it brings in some experts. And they're like, hold on, the precision here, it's insane.
You'd need, what, power tools?
Yeah, like specialized cutting tool. Things they wouldn't have had back then, makes you wonder.
For sure. So what else? What other explanations are there?
Well, there's the legend of King Lalibela.
King Lalibela.
The documentary says he had this vision of a heavenly Jerusalem. And God told him to build these churches.
A divine blueprint.
Exactly. But it gets even weirder. There's stories about angels helping, working through the night, doing things humans couldn't do.
Ah, so that explains it then. Angelic construction crew.
Right. But of course the documentary offers another interpretation. Those angels, maybe they were extraterrestrials with, advanced tech.
Always with the aliens.
Right. It's zombies, sky gods, fish-like aliens, and now angelic engineers.
Quite the lineup. What's next?
Who knows? This documentary is full of surprises.
Like a cosmic mystery novel.
Totally.
And just like any good mystery, gotta sift through the clues, decide what makes sense.
Absolutely. We'll keep digging, see what else we find.
Lots more to uncover.
Yeah.
And you know what? This documentary, it tackles human evolution.
Oh, wow. Getting into the big stuff now.
The big questions. So Darwin, right. Survival of the fittest, natural selection, ring a bell.
Yeah, the basics. But I feel like this documentary is going to challenge that, aren't they?
They do raise some interesting points. They talk about hominids, our early ancestors.
Right, the ones before us.
Exactly. And they're saying the discovery of all these different types, it points to a more complex evolutionary history.
More complex than we thought.
Than the traditional narrative, yeah. They bring up this discovery in the Malapa Caves in South Africa.
Malapa Caves, okay.
2-million-year-old hominid remains.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They show signs of upright walking and modern-looking hands.
So, like a mix of old and new.
A mosaic of traits.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And this is where they kind of throw a wrench into the whole Darwinian thing. They bring in Desmond Morris.
Desmond Morris, the naked ape guy.
The one and only. And he asks this really thought-provoking question. Why did humans lose their body hair?
Yeah, good question. Most animals, they keep their fur.
Right. And it makes you think, from a survival point of view, wouldn't fur be better? Especially back then.
Yeah, keep you warm, protect you.
Exactly. It doesn't seem very survival of the fittest to just, ditch the fur coat.
Right. So the documentary is saying it wasn't for an immediate advantage.
That's their argument. They also point out that tool use, bigger brains, all that came way later.
So not because we needed our hands free for tools?
Not right away, anyway. Timeline doesn't quite add up.
It's like, why would we lose the fur if it was a disadvantage? And then on top of that, we needed clothes for warmth. Another step back.
Seems counterintuitive, and this is where they start speculating a bit. What if this jump in intelligence wasn't, entirely natural?
Okay, here we go. Aliens, right.
They don't come right out and say it, but they're laying the groundwork.
They've already hinted at it with everything else. The Vodun, the Dogon, the churches. Why not human intelligence, too?
It's a bold claim, for sure. But hey, this is Ancient Aliens. It's all about exploring those alternative interpretations.
Right. It's not like textbook science. But it's interesting to think about, what if there are parts of our evolution that we don't get yet?
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting about this stuff. It makes you question what you think you know.
Okay, so let's just, for fun, say aliens did influence us. What would their motive be? Just watching us? Or messing with us, like an experiment?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why would they do it? It's hard to even imagine.
Right, like trying to explain the internet to a caveman. They wouldn't have a clue.
Exactly. Their reasons could be totally beyond our understanding. something that seems random to us, could make perfect sense to them.
So it's just a big mystery.
A beautiful mystery. It's humbling,
Mhm.
to think how much we don't know about the universe and our place in it.
Totally. And a little bit exciting too, right? All these possibilities.
For sure. Okay, so I think we've covered a lot. Vadun, the Dogon, the Malapa Caves, a lot of ground.
Definitely. But I have to ask, this is something the documentary didn't really go into. If, and that's a big IF, aliens were in contact with these ancient cultures, what was their purpose? Were they trying to help or something else?
It's tough to say, really. I mean, we always try to, understand things through our own lens.
Right, like what would we do? But if they're so advanced...
Exactly. Their motives, they could be completely alien to us, pun intended.
Huh. True. Like, imagine trying to explain, I don't know, smartphones to a Roman emperor.
Yeah, it's beyond their comprehension. So something that seems, I don't know, cruel to us.
Or just random.
Right. It could be totally logical to them. Maybe even, like, a good thing from their perspective.
It's like we're just scratching the surface of, like, this huge cosmic mystery.
It's kind of humbling, isn't it? How much we don't know.
Totally. But also kind of cool. All these possibilities.
Definitely. So, I guess we've covered a lot, right? Zombies, the Dogon, human evolution.
Yeah, it's been quite the deep dive
Hmm.
into those ancient African cultures and their possible, alien connections.
Right. And along the way, we've seen some stuff that really makes you think,
Yeah.
challenges those old ways of seeing things.
Totally. So what's the takeaway here for our listeners?
Keep an open mind, I think. That's the biggest thing.
Open to, like, new ideas.
Yeah. This ancient astronaut theory, maybe it's not for everyone, but it shows us there's more than one way to look at history. Our understanding, it's always changing.
It's like a giant puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Some pieces are missing. Maybe some don't even fit.
But we keep searching, trying to figure it out. That's the fun part.
Exactly. So as we wrap up here, any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yeah, just this. What if, and this is a big what if all these crazy theories,
Aliens and all that.
yeah, what if it's closer to the truth than we think? What if our past is even more amazing than we can imagine?
That's a good one to ponder. Makes you want to learn more. I guess that's the power of mystery, right? Keeps us searching.
Absolutely. The search never ends. Who knows what we'll discover next?
Mm-hmm.
Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
Don't be afraid to be a little bit, out there.
Exactly.
And to everyone listening, thanks for coming along on this this wild ride through ancient Africa and all those alien theories. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.